The reason everybody is holding their breaths as Trump goes before Congress is there has been, there's just no way around this. There has been a political earthquake in this country. The election of Donald Trump signals the end of something. I mean, we came into that election with basically two choices. Either this kind of Trumpian populism, economic nationalism, Steve Bannon calls it, or we were going to have the slow death of socialism. And make no mistake about it, socialism is slow death. You know, the socialists have been pointing to Europe for 70 years, saying, oh, look, you know, the wonderful socialist programs. First of all, it's not really quite true. There's a lot of capitalism still alive in places like Britain. But socialism just takes 70 years to kill a country. That's what it does. And when you look at Europe now, you are seeing a slow motion invasion. You're seeing a slow motion invasion of these countries by people from the Middle East, by, you know, Muslims who are completely upending the culture in these countries because they haven't got, you know, people have to have meaning in their lives. It's not enough. It's not enough for Elon Musk and other billionaires to have meaning. You have to have meaning. Everybody has to have meaning. And socialism sucks the meaning out of life. It just, you know, they give you food. It's like being in prison, basically. They give you food, they give you shelter and everything. They feel great about themselves, and you have nothing to do. You have no impetus to build a family, no impetus to, like, make a success out of yourself, no reason to channel your ambitions. And that was what we were facing with the election of Hillary Clinton. I don't know if it would have taken only 8 years. It might have taken longer than that, but it was obviously coming down the pike. There was no third choice. There was no choice between death by socialism, Trumpian populism, and something else. That choice didn't exist in that election. So now we've got this earthquake of Trumpian populism, and everybody wants it to go away. All the establishment, they want it to go away. And they're all saying, oh, now it's going to get serious. Now the executive orders were fine, but now he's got to toe the line. The Wall Street Journal ran an editorial today called Trump's Reality Test. And they said, you know, this Trump and Steve Bannon light show, the immigration limits and deportation ramp up, the broadsides against globalism, the rhetorical assaults on the media as the enemy, these have produced an approval rating of 44% 5 weeks into the job. That's a modern low for a new president and a sign that the polarization strategy pressed by Mr. Bannon, his ally Stephen Miller, and the Breitbart wing of the White House has a political ceiling. The central problem is that the Bannon agenda and style can't produce the results they promise and may undermine the rest of Trump's agenda. Tariffs that reduce trade won't spur the growth Mr. Trump needs to lift incomes. A too harsh crackdown on immigration will cause labor shortages that induce more U.S. production to move offshore, especially in agriculture. The attacks on the media may satisfy Mr. Trump's core supporters, but they also create animosity and more political headwinds for his agenda. All of this has begun to build incentives for Republicans to distance themselves from the White House. The thing is, there is no distance from the White House. You know, the distance from the White House is political wilderness. You know, we cannot have this first 6 months of this presidency when the Republicans have every house, you know, every branch of government. You can't have them distancing themselves, but this is what the establishment is rooting for because they want to see Trump stop. They want to see Trump stop saying